Chamisa has reacted following Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa appointing about 10 senators yesterday using the newly enacted and ascended illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. So various allies, now allies of Mnangagwa, I've always said that he doesn't have permanent allies, and he has proven to be a traitor of note. You cannot trust Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Even those who are actually laughing with him at the moment are not guaranteed that tomorrow will actually pose a similar attitude of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. One of the individuals who has been hit hard by Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is none other than Nelson Chamisa, and he decided to abort the Citizens Coalition for Change. Should I have done the same if I was him? Definitely, I would have done the same or even more. And he is today saying whatever was hidden about Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa now is out in the public for everybody to see. But the also recent developments where Mnangagwa has appointed Nelson Chamisa's closest allies, people that most probably shared food with at some point, also may depict him as a leader who lacked sensitivity to see people who were planted to take him down. Maybe this is why Nelson Chamisa ended up adopting the strategy of not having a constitution at all. Mnangagwa may have sent his own operatives, particularly within his circle, to advise him to do so, knowing that he will capitalize over what Nelson Chamisa eventually did. So at the moment, as much as he's exonerated, also this exposes weaknesses. I hope as he actually endeavor to start a new project, he would have learned one or two lessons out of his experiences. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Let's go to what he wrote on his social media account, specifically on X. He says, the cat now out of the bag. When Chabangu happened and when I felt the CCC snake pit, many were simply too slow to see it end game. I think some of us, we saw his end game and we spoke about it. And he says, manipulating the constitution and using every available means to illegally extend illegitimate term in office. With that, I have personally been thought, and what we are witnessing now, Mugabe almost looks like an amateur or a baby when it comes to dictatorship or tyranny. The scale of bribery, infiltration, and manipulation through money, trinkets, state capture, and the abuse of power is staggering. It is operating at a level never imagined or witnessed before. But when fighting evil is never, but then fighting evil is never easy. You can say that again, and will not stop. The struggle continues. Hope is not lost. Good will ultimately win and defeat all evil. The true colors are coming out. Only that we know only that we know that most people don't. Now it's easy to start afresh because pretenders and infiltrators are now fully known, and more will come out. We are starting all over again, a fresh start, the new citizens movement. I think Nelson Chamisa saying that he will start afresh again, and now they know. They have also definitely, as he speaks like this, Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is devising new infiltrators. Maybe already Nelson Chamisa is already working with them. So I think all these political parties that fought during the liberation struggle, they had infiltrators at some point, but because of the systems they established, these systems made the infiltrators not to survive. It made the infiltrators to be easily defeated. Even everywhere in the world, the most powerful organizations and the most powerful countries are infiltrated. Just imagine if the enemies of the United States could actually infiltrate United States. What about just a mere political party? It will always be infiltrated. But the most important thing is how then Nelson Chamisa going forward should, because he has been proven, he has started afresh. I think this would be the third time starting afresh. There was, I think, Coupe dispute. There was also Coupe and Monzora dispute. He started CCC, Sengezo Chabango. Now it will be for the third time starting afresh. He has learned very critical lessons of actually establishing a strong organization that survives infiltration from ZANU-PF, that survives arm twisting of ZANU-PF, because any organization that may even be formed, just imagine with the CDF, they thought they comprised of very strong, solid people who were against Mnangagwa. Brilliant Dube was part of the CDF. The CDF, and who is targeted there, who was targeted by individuals such as Brilliant Dube. It was none other than Tendai and others within that particular organization. So all organizations will be infiltrated. Mnangagwa, but Nelson Chamisa says Mugabe proved to be a baby in the tricks that are currently used by Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa. I don't think so. If we had powerful leaders, opposition leaders in Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa has exposed each and every trick on how ZANU-PF survives, maneuver around sanctions through Al Jazeera documentary. We are now aware of how ZANU-PF survives. It's easier now to attack the enemy, whom what are the survival tactics of your enemy. For example, if you are fighting with an enemy and you don't know what actually is the lifeline of the enemy, you should know the lifeline of the enemy. And Mnangagwa has exposed how ZANU-PF operates. I think now Zimbabweans who are following the Zimbabwean politics understand it better than any other person how ZANU-PF operates. And that is a weakness, especially to ZANU-PF. If we can have a strong opposition, we know that it infiltrates. We knew then, but we never knew at what level and at what scale. But now we know how also it is done. What do they target, especially when they are planting individuals? And sometimes the behavior of these individuals when they come and join the party that they intend to infiltrate, I'm sure they have learned greater lessons. And also going forward, on how I hope Nelson Chamisa is still safe. Nothing was not put on his food, because the people that he was associating with, the people that he trusted them with all his dear life, they were planted. These are the people who could have easily administered poison to him. I think it's only now that he is realizing, oh, this one, if Brilliant Dube was the head of protocol in the presidency, so it was a very important position, head of protocol, which means this is a person who protects Nelson Chamisa, who decides who sees Nelson Chamisa and who does not see him. She was managing the protocol, advising on the protocol of the opposition party. and which means she is the one who recommended Sengezo Chabangu to sign certain documents and actually kept certain information that he knew when Sengezo Chabangu goes to the courts, he will unveil that information. She was part of the broader strategy of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa in terms of destroying Citizens Coalition for Change. So, as much as I know it's easy to say we'll start the new, and thank God he has delayed to start the new, and he should be conscious of this. Mnangagwa will always try at all times to infiltrate the opposition. The mind-boggling question is the opposition formidable in terms of strategy, in terms of tactics, in terms of also the system, in terms of also weighing the advice that it receives, especially from individuals purporting to be members but planted by the enemy. It's very, very important. I hope he learned his lessons. And I've always been sympathetic. A lot of people know that I've always been sympathetic to Nelson Chamisa because I understand the man has been through a lot, building two new political parties, all of them taken away from you by ZANU-PF system. It's not an easy thing. Psychologically, you would never trust anyone. That's why when Blessed Geza was calling him and Nelson Chamisa pulling away, somehow I personally understood him. Because, just imagine, you're married to a first wife, you are betrayed. When you walk into the house, that first wife, you catch the wife red-handed with another man. You marry the second wife, and she appears trustworthy. You see a similar incident. When someone wants to be a good wife to you for the third time, you would really be cautious. I understand him from that point of view and from that line of thought. And also, Zimbabweans have a tendency of blaming one person. Any political party that is a one-man show in Zimbabwe would not survive. We should not blame one person for the suffocation of the Citizens Coalition for Change. It was a political party with many men and women at the helm of it, and all of them should take blame for the fall of that political party. I know, I've seen it, and also especially those who are supporting Mnangagwa and some agents from Mnangagwa. Every time when Nelson Chamisa says, "I hear you dumped your party," they make it as if it was a crime. What would you have done at that particular moment? If you know that you are surrounded by snakes, definitely what would you have done? If you are a sane human being, it's actually the intelligence of how you get to see the people from ZANU-PF. It is these lines of thought. He is not a perfect human being, but those who blames him for dumping a party full of snake, they don't like the man. How did you want the man to survive? If you are in a house full of snakes, the best thing is to escape. Figure out when you are outside. Of course, you would live inside the other human beings with five senses. Sometimes it's difficult to explain to other human beings. Let them actually figure out and let the situation unfold. And as time goes on, and I'm sure a lot of people are learning how infiltrated Citizens Coalition for Change has been. And it's a very, very actually, to me, it's a good lesson to those who want to be part of politics, and also to the students of political science. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is a demagogue operating at another level. And I think his substandard, primitive kind of leadership has to be studied, especially by the students of political science, and how this man will survive and eventually falls. You would think that he has been a president for 20 years. I mean, this is a man who has not even finished his second term, but Zimbabweans are tired. It's like he has been leading the country for 40 years. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okanqobo Mhlabane is signing off. Love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast.